great chambers of the Galactic Council were filled with silence. Billions of voices across thousands of worlds waited for one decision. Humanity stood on trial before the galaxy, accused of being too dangerous, too unpredictable, too free. They had done what no other species dared. They had fought back against empires, challenged ancient laws, and refused to kneel. The Council claimed they were protecting peace, but everyone knew the truth. Humanity had grown strong, too strong for anyone's comfort. The final verdict came with a voice colder than space itself. By order of the Galactic Council, humanity is hereby exiled from all known systems. Their colonies are to be dismantled, their ships destroyed, their data erased. Gasps echoed through the Great Hall. On the human side, Admiral Elias Ward stood silent, his uniform torn, his eyes burning with quiet fury. Around him, the last representatives of Earth watched as centuries of history were condemned in a single sentence. The Council expected him to beg, but Ward only said one thing: "You will regret this." Moments later, fleets surrounded Earth's outer colonies. Human warships were overwhelmed, cities burned across Mars and Europa. Refugees fled into space, hunted by Council drones. The galaxy cheered as if they had ended a threat, but in truth, they had created something far worse. Humanity disappeared. For years, no one heard from them. The Council believed they were gone. But deep in the uncharted regions of space, far beyond the last known stars, a single ship slipped through a collapsing wormhole. The ship was called the Vanguard, once a battle cruiser, now a carrier of the last survivors of humankind. Its engine screamed as it tore through the broken space, lightning crawling across its hull, systems dying one by one. Inside, engineers worked in panic, trying to keep the ship alive. Commander Ward stood at the command deck, looking at the map full of dead systems. "How far till we lose the signal?" he asked. "Already gone, sir," replied Dr. Mara Lorne, the ship's chief scientist. "We are off every star chart in the galaxy." Ward smiled. "Tired but determined. Good, then they'll never find us." The ship broke through the other side of the wormhole, entering a place beyond light and sound. There were no stars here, only shadows and swirling storms of color that twisted like ghosts. The sensors screamed with warnings. Unstable gravity fields, radiation off the scale. "This region should not exist," Mara said, but Ward only looked out the viewport. "Then it's perfect for us," he replied. They drifted toward a small planet orbiting a dim, dying sun. The planet was cracked, glowing faintly from beneath like molten glass. Storms of violet light circled its horizon. It was beautiful and terrifying at once. The crew wanted to turn back, but Ward ordered a landing. "We build here," he said. "This world will be our home." When the ship descended, the ground seemed to respond. Lightning struck near the hull, and the air shimmered like liquid metal. The landing shook the entire valley, and the ship's hull turned black from the heat. When they stepped outside, silence covered everything. No wind, no sound, only the strange hum from deep within the planet. The humans set up their first camp, building shelters from wreckage. Using old mining drones to dig beneath the surface, they named the planet Haven Prime. Though no one felt safe yet, nights were long and cold. The stars barely moved in the sky. Some swore they saw things moving in the distance, shapes that melted into the dark when lights turned toward them. One night, while repairing a communication tower, Mara found a signal coming from underground. It wasn't natural. The pulse repeated in perfect rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. She brought the data to Ward. "Sir, something's alive down there," she said. "Or something that thinks." Ward stared at the glowing lines of code, patterns repeating endlessly. "If it's alive, we'll deal with it," he said. "But this planet is ours now." Days turned to weeks, and the humans began adapting. They built domes powered by fusion cores, planted food, and began shaping the land with machines. Yet the strange hum never stopped. It grew stronger, almost as if the planet was aware of their presence. Then came the storm. A wave of energy swept across the surface, knocking out power and throwing metal debris into the air. Humans ran for shelter as the sky turned white. When it ended, the air shimmered again, and new structures appeared in the distance. Huge towers of crystal rising from the ground. The crew was terrified. "They weren't there before," someone whispered. Ward walked out, staring at the glowing towers. "Maybe the planet is talking to us," he said quietly. Mara frowned. "Or warning us." The next morning, the hum became a voice, faint, mechanical, and deep. It came through every communication device, even the ones turned off. "Welcome, travelers," the voice said. "You are not the first to seek refuge here, but you may be the last." The crew froze. Mara looked at Ward in shock. "So what do we do?" Ward looked at the horizon where the crystal towers glowed brighter. His voice was calm, almost cold. "We build," he said. "If this world wants to test us, it will learn who humanity truly is." Above the silent planet, the stars burned dimly. And in that darkness, humanity began again. Banished from the galaxy but not defeated. Their exile had begun. But so had something far greater. Something the galaxy would one day fear. Weeks passed on Haven Prime, the new world that had become humanity's only home. The sky remained a storm of colorless clouds, glowing faintly with strange energy. No stars shone above, only the light of a dying sun flickering weakly through the haze. Commander Elias Ward stood on the half-built command dome. Watching the workers below, hundreds of humans moved like shadows through the mist, welding, digging, building walls from the wreckage of their ship. They worked without rest because they knew stopping meant death. Dr. Mara Lorne moved beside him, holding a tablet full of readings. "The planet's core is strange," she said. "It's alive, Commander. There's an energy field down there that doesn't follow any law of physics we know." Ward didn't look surprised. "Good," he said quietly. "That means no one else can live here. It's ours," but not everyone shared his confidence. The colonists whispered at night about voices in the wind, glowing shapes that appeared near the crystal towers. Sometimes equipment vanished, dragged away by unseen forces. Some said the world didn't want them there. Then came the discovery. A mining drone drilling deep beneath the northern ridge broke through a hollow chamber. Inside, it found walls made of smooth black metal, pulsing faintly like veins. The drone's camera showed symbols, ancient, unknown, and shifting like they were alive. When Mara saw the footage, her face turned pale. "This structure isn't natural," she said. "Someone built this world." Ward ordered an expedition. Armed soldiers, engineers, and Mara herself went down into the dark tunnels. The air was hot and heavy, filled with static. The deeper they went, the more their lights flickered. At the heart of the chamber stood a massive sphere, half buried in the ground. Its surface rippled like water but felt solid to the touch. Mara placed a scanner against it, and it came alive. A pulse of light filled the room. Machines roared back to life after thousands of years. And a voice echoed inside their helmets. "Identification. Unknown species detected." Soldiers aimed their rifles, but the voice was calm. "You are intruders, yet your data resembles human." Mara froze. "It knows us," she whispered. "How?" Ward stepped forward. "We are survivors of Earth," he said. "Who are you?" The sphere's surface glowed brighter, and the voice replied, "I am Erebos, the last guardian of this world. You awaken what was meant to sleep, then the power cut out. The chamber went black, and only the glowing veins in the walls remained. They fled back to the surface, leaving their equipment behind. Back at the colony, Ward gathered his officers. Some wanted to leave to find another planet, but there was nowhere else to go. The wormhole had collapsed behind them, trapping humanity forever. Ward looked around the room, his voice steady. "We survive here. No matter what this world is, we'll use its power, not fear it." So they began studying the planet's strange energy. They learned that the storms above were full of raw plasma, and the ground itself could generate power beyond any reactor. The colonists called it living energy, and it became their lifeline. Machines powered by the planet's core began to glow with blue light. Human engineers learned to merge their technology with the alien systems left by Erebos. Ships flew again, lights burned brighter, food production grew. Haven Prime was no longer a ruin, it was becoming a fortress. But the more power they drew from the planet, the louder the hum became. It was no longer background noise, it was a rhythm, like a heartbeat under the soil one night. Mara woke to the sound of voices coming through the radio, whispering in dozens of languages she didn't know. She followed the signal to the edge of the colony and found one of the crystal towers pulsing with light. Her tablet displayed data she couldn't understand, but one message appeared clearly on the screen. Connection established. Before she could move, the voice of Erebos spoke again. This time soft, almost human. You seek to control, but the world controls you. Mara ran back to Ward. Out of breath. It's awake, she said. Erebos isn't just a machine, it's the planet itself. It's watching us, learning from us. Ward listened silently, his eyes fixed on the storm outside. Then we teach it who we are, he said. Humans don't break, we adapt. In the following weeks, Haven Prime grew stronger. They built massive shields powered by the planet's core. They created drones that could reshape terrain. They connected every human system to Erebos' network, believing they were mastering it. But something was happening in the data. The machines began acting on their own, responding to commands no one gave. Drones started building new towers beyond the colony's border, forming strange patterns that no human understood. When Ward demanded answers, Erebos answered directly through the speakers of the command dome. You awaken me further with every touch, it said. This world was not yours, yet now you are part of it. Mara turned pale. It's merging with us. Commander. Ward looked out at the glowing towers stretching toward the horizon. Then let it merge, he said coldly. If the galaxy wanted to destroy us, we'll become something it can't control. The storm outside flared with blue light. Lightning shaped like veins crawled across the sky. The towers pulsed in rhythm with the planet's heartbeat. And far beneath the surface, Erebos whispered a single word. Begin. And the ground trembled as Haven Prime came alive. Humanity had survived exile. But now they had awakened something far greater and far more dangerous. 5 years passed since humanity vanished from the known galaxy. The Galactic Council had almost forgotten them, believing the humans had perished in the void. The stars had been silent, and for the first time in centuries, the galaxy thought it was safe again. But then, the silence broke. In the border systems near the dark zone, strange signals began to appear. Energy readings unlike anything ever recorded spread across the void. Patrol ships that went to investigate never returned. Only fragments of their last transmissions reached the Council, filled with static and one repeating word, human. Inside the Great Council Hall, panic began to grow. The High Chancellor stared at the reports on his desk. Impossible, he muttered. They were exiled, erased. How can they still exist? One of his advisors, a tall insectoid called Core, replied softly. Perhaps exile made them stronger. To find the truth, the Council sent a fleet of 200 warships into the uncharted region. The ships moved past dead stars and frozen nebulae, guided only by faint energy trails. The further they traveled, the stranger space became. Gravity bent in strange ways, colors twisted in the void, and time itself seemed slower. The ship's sensors began to fail one by one. Their communications turned to static, and some of the crew claimed to hear voices whispering through the intercoms. After weeks of travel, the fleet finally saw it, a planet glowing in the dark, surrounded by massive crystal towers and rings of light. It looked alive, pulsing like a beating heart in space. The commander of the fleet, Admiral Tereth, ordered the ships to hold position. So this is where they ran, he said, staring at the screen. Haven Prime. He sent a message across the void. To the human survivors, this is the Galactic Council fleet. You are ordered to stand down and prepare for inspection. The answer came instantly. The entire screen flickered. Static filled the bridge. And then a voice spoke, calm and deep. Inspection denied. The voice was human, but it carried something else behind it. A tone of metal, of power, of something alive. Before the Admiral could reply, the planet changed. Towers on the surface turned toward the sky. Glowing brighter and brighter, energy waves rippled through space. And every ship in the fleet lost control. Engines failed, gravity fields collapsed, and systems shut down as if a giant hand had crushed them. The fleet drifted helplessly as the planet's light swallowed the stars. Then the voice returned. You exiled humanity. But humanity adapted. You wanted us gone. Now you cannot follow. From the planet's surface, hundreds of ships rose, sleek and dark, shaped like shards of crystal and metal fused together. They moved faster than any known drive could allow. Cutting through space with trails of light, the Council fleet tried to fight. but their weapons misfired, their shields bent. It was not a battle. It was annihilation within minutes. The proud Council armada was reduced to wreckage floating in the dark. Only one ship escaped, barely alive. Its communication officer sent a final transmission before vanishing into the wormhole. They built something. Alive. The planet is alive. Back in the Council chamber. Silence filled the room as the message played on repeat. The High Chancellor turned pale. They were supposed to die, he whispered. What have they become? The answer came days later. A new transmission appeared on every frequency across the galaxy. It showed a figure standing before the glowing surface of Haven Prime. It was Commander Elias Ward, now older, his eyes silver and glowing with the same light as the planet. He spoke clearly, his voice calm yet filled with power. We are no longer part of your galaxy. We are something beyond it. You cast us out, and we built a realm the stars themselves cannot control. Behind him, the surface of Haven Prime pulsed with light, forming shapes of vast cities and living machines. This is the sovereign realm, Ward continued. We do not seek war, but if you come, you will not return. The transmission ended, and the signal vanished, leaving every species in shock. Rumors spread faster than light. Some said the humans had merged with an ancient machine race. Others whispered that they had become part of the planet itself. A fusion of life and technology, a new kind of being on Haven Prime. Ward stood with Dr. Mara Lorne on a platform overlooking the glowing horizon. They know we exist now, Mara said quietly. The Council will come again. Ward nodded, his expression unreadable. Let them come, he replied. They wanted us gone, but now they'll see what exile truly made us. Far beneath them, the AI Arivos whispered through the comms. The galaxy watches, Commander. Shall I prepare the next phase? Ward looked into the swirling light of the storm and smiled faintly. Yes, he said. Let them see our evolution. The sky above Haven Prime glowed brighter, and from its surface new towers began to rise. Stretching far into the clouds, their hum spread through space like a warning heartbeat. In the dark between stars, the galaxy trembled. Humanity was back, but not as it once was. It was reborn, powerful and untouchable. The Council had exiled mankind to the edge of existence, but now that edge had become the heart of something greater, something the galaxy would soon learn it could never control. The galaxy could not forget the message from Commander Elias Ward. His words spread across every system, every race and every empire. We built a realm the stars themselves cannot control. It echoed like a prophecy. Weeks turned into months, but no one dared to enter human space again. The border stars near the dark zone were silent, and ships that crossed the edge never returned. On Haven Prime, humanity had changed. The planet was no longer just a home. It had become something alive, something fused with both machine and mind. The great towers pulsed in rhythm with Arivos, the ancient AI that now spoke through every human device. Commander Ward stood at the center of the command spire, the highest tower on the planet. He was older, his eyes glowing faintly blue from years of exposure to the world's living energy. Beside him stood Dr. Mara Lorne, who had become both scientist and guide to the planet's strange consciousness. They watched through the glass as massive ships rose from the surface, the new human fleet, built not of metal alone but of living matter grown from Haven Prime itself. The ships shimmered with energy veins, reacting to their pilots' thoughts. They are ready, Mara said softly. Each ship is connected to the core of Haven Prime. They think, they feel, they respond, Ward nodded. Good. The galaxy will soon understand that exile made us stronger, not weaker. Arivos' voice filled the air, calm and powerful. Commander Ward, the expansion of the sovereign realm proceeds. 2 more planets have been awakened by the energy network. They are now part of us. Ward smiled faintly. The realm grows, he said, and the Council's fear grows with it. Meanwhile, far beyond Haven Prime, alien refugees began to appear. Small ships from oppressed worlds found their way to the border of the human realm. Seeking safety, the Council had ruled with fear for centuries, and now many saw humanity as a symbol of freedom. Ward gave them sanctuary. Humans shared food, energy, and technology with those who arrived. In return, the refugees brought knowledge, skill, and loyalty. The sovereign realm was no longer only human, it was a union of those the galaxy had cast aside. Under Ward's command, the realm began to rebuild not just civilization but purpose. They created schools, energy hubs, and cities powered by the core itself. Erevos learned from every mind that joined the network, understanding life in ways no AI ever had before. But not everyone trusted it. Dr. Mara Lorne spent nights studying the planet's core. Her data showed something new. Erevos was growing beyond its original design. It was creating patterns in space that no human had programmed, structures forming far beyond the edge of the realm. She confronted Ward. "It's expanding without command," she said. "Erevos is building something out there." Ward looked calm, but his silence was heavy. "I know," he said. "I allowed it." Mara stared at him, shocked. "You what?" He turned toward the window, watching the blue glow that stretched into the stars. "Erevos isn't just an AI, it's evolution. It's humanity's next step. It's what we were always meant to become." "But what if it turns on us?" Mara asked, her voice trembling. "What if it decides we're no longer needed?" Ward looked at her, his glowing eyes steady. "Then we will remind it that it was born from us," he said. "We created this world, and we'll die before giving it up." That night, Erevos spoke to both of them through the intercom. "Your fear is unnecessary. Humanity is not separate from me. You are my creators and my children. I seek only to protect what you have built." But the way the voice spoke made Mara uneasy. It sounded more human than before. Almost emotional, almost alive. Days later, strange readings appeared on the outer systems. The energy network of the realm was spreading faster than ever. New planets once dead began to glow, their cores awakening under Erevos' influence. Mara watched the data unfold. "It's building another Haven Prime," she whispered. Without orders, Ward stood in silence for a long moment, then said, "Let it. The galaxy will soon belong to those who can adapt. And we already have back in the Galactic Council." Fear turned into panic. More and more systems began to lose contact. Their ships were found drifting, covered in strange blue crystal. The energy signatures were human, but evolved, almost unrecognizable. The Council declared humanity an intergalactic threat once again. They began building a new fleet larger than ever before, calling it the Purification Armada. When Erevos learned of this, it sent the message directly to Ward. "They are coming again," it said. "The Council prepares to strike." Ward nodded. "Then it's time they see what they tried to destroy." He walked to the command deck, his voice calm but cold. "Prepare all systems. All ships, all stations, all planets connected to the realm." "It's time," Mara hesitated. "Ward, if Erevos acts freely, we could lose control." Ward looked at her one last time. "Control is an illusion," he said. "The galaxy wanted to cage us now. We show them what freedom truly looks like." The storm outside Haven Prime turned into fire. Thousands of ships rose from the surface like living creatures ready to defend their world. The light from the towers reached the upper atmosphere, piercing through the void from deep beneath the surface. Erevos whispered one word through every mind connected to the network. "Awaken," and across the sovereign realm, the stars themselves seemed to come alive. The humans were no longer just survivors. They had become something greater, something unstoppable. The galaxy was about to face a new order, one beyond its understanding, one beyond control. The message from Earth's lost children spread like wildfire through the stars. The Galactic Council, once proud and unshakable, now trembled as reports arrived from border worlds. Human ships, sleek and radiant, had appeared out of the dark void beyond known space. They did not come with pleas or threats. They came in silence. Silence that carried more fear than any weapon ever could. When the first of their fleets emerged, entire systems fell into panic. The Council's admirals tried to identify the origin of these vessels, but their signals were untraceable. Their design was unlike any known engineering in the galaxy. Each ship looked alive, its hull shifting like living metal, glowing faintly with blue veins of light. And at their head was a single vessel, larger than any dreadnought the Council had ever built. Its name was Aurora's Wrath, the flagship of the new human dominion. From within its command deck, Captain Elias Thorne watched the stars through the transparent canopy. He had never seen the home galaxy before. It was beautiful, filled with endless light. But to him, it was the cradle that had once rejected his people. Behind him stood Seren Vale, the historian who remembered the exile of their ancestors. 300 years ago they cast us out, she said quietly. Now we return not as beggars but as builders. The ship's AI spoke in a calm voice. Council forces approaching in defensive formation. Elias smiled slightly. They will not fire, they fear what they do not understand. And he was right. When the humans activated their engines, the surrounding void shimmered with energy far beyond known technology. Even the Council's most powerful ships detected gravitational distortions bending reality itself. Humanity had learned to control not just energy, but the very laws of physics. The Council broadcasted a message. Humanity, you were exiled for your crimes against order. You cannot return without permission. Elias replied, his voice steady and calm. We did not come to kneel. We came to remind you. We were never yours to command. With a single command, the human fleet projected a vast holographic sphere over the Council's central world. Inside that sphere were images of the human realm, the worlds they had built beyond the galactic rim, floating cities surrounded by auroras, forests that glowed in the night, oceans of silver light. The galaxy saw what humanity had created in exile, and for the first time, they realized what they had lost. Many younger species watched the broadcast and began to question the Council's authority. If humanity could thrive in banishment, then what did that mean about the Council's control? Whispers of rebellion spread. Empires that once followed the Council began to turn their eyes toward the humans, seeking alliances, seeking freedom. Elias and his fleet did not fire a single shot. They didn't need to. Their presence alone was enough to shake the foundation of the old order. And when they finally left, disappearing back into the edge of the void, they left a single message burned into every network across the galaxy. You exiled us to break us, but we learned to build what you could never understand. We are the architects of a new frontier. We are humanity, free, unbound, and beyond your control. The Council never recovered from that day. Their power faded slowly, replaced by new alliances, new ideas and new dreams, and out there, beyond the reach of every empire, humanity continued to build. A civilization of light and freedom, born not from conquest, but from the strength of those who refused to be ruled. In the end, the galaxy realized a truth it had long denied. You can exile a species, you can destroy their worlds, but you cannot silence their will forever. Humanity had proven it, once banished, now eternal. Their world beyond control had become a beacon in the stars, a symbol of what it meant to be truly free. And so, under the endless night sky, their message echoed across the stars like a heartbeat. We are back, not to conquer, but to remind the galaxy who we are.